Hello. So this is going to be a little bit different type of video. Instead of being like a step-by-step how-to, this is going to be more of a kind of how to approach game development thinking, I guess would be a good way of putting it. So once you kind of wrap your head around this, it makes everything about game development so much easier. And it's neither rocket surgery nor brain science. So it's one of those things that you kind of know already, but at one point it's just like, oh, that makes sense. And this line of thinking exists whether you're talking about swords, shields, or guns in your game, performing any kind of actions, or even enemies and characters, anything. Everything in game development is information management. So, and you can break that down into two categories. There is the logic information that the game needs, and then there's the visual information that your player needs. So, if you're, let's say, making a sword, I'm a terrible artist, but we're just going to be like, hey, there's a sword. Why not? That's terrible. Uh, the two forms of information you would need to put a sword in your character's hands is you need the visual and the logical. So you need a sword class. How do you create a sword in your player's hands? First, you need an actual sword class in your game. So you create the blueprint actor, or in Unity, your prefab. The visual side has the static mesh or skeletal mesh. For a sword, probably a static mesh. It might have the impact visual effects. The logic side would have like a damage float, an attack speed. I'm not going to write everything down. I'm not going to make you sit here through all that. You get the point on all that. But it would have those kind of things as far as that goes. So everything has either a logical or a visual need. So if you have a character, yeah, I'm a character. I almost put the legs too high, and we don't want that. We have a character. The skeletal mesh is the visual component, and the capsule around is the logical component. So they are completely separate, but they do the same thing. They communicate information. You want to communicate information to the player and to the computer. So the player needs to see the character. If he's walking, running, jumping, that communicates information to the player. The capsule's movement communicates information to the computer with, all the inputs and all that jazz. Same thing with weapons. You need the sword mesh, just a crappy sword, why not? That communicates, I'm holding a weapon to the player, and then the data inside, the damage flow, the attack rate, everything, the attack range, all that communicates information to the computer. Everything in game development. If you have an ability that your character can do, you'll have visual effects. Like if your character can do a dash, then the computer needs the logical side of how fast do I dash? How far do I dash? You can use these as floats just to store a range and a speed and all that. And then the actual character's that communicates to the player, as well as him moving through the air, obviously. But everything in game development can be boiled down to these two things. It doesn't matter what shape it takes, every game is basically the same thing. Pokemon game, your weapons are the Pokemon. So you might collect guns in Doom, you're collecting Pokemon in Pokemon, and the Pokemon have their own abilities, so it'll have status effects that communicates logically to computer side, and the visual effect of performing like a headbutt or throwing the sand communicates to the player why that happened. So any question that you have in game development, first think about it like this. What am I trying to do? Okay, I'm creating an RPG. My character's going to swing a sword. How do I do that? What are the pieces of information I need to communicate both to the player and to the computer in order to have a sword and make it work? Well, like we said, you need the mesh, the VFX for impact, that's a Y. The VFX for impact, all that kind of stuff. Animations. Just gonna write anim. My handwriting's terrible. My mom was right. I should have been a doctor. But you need all this for communicating to the player, and you need the attack radius, the damage, all that jazz to communicate to the computer, the animations to line up to tell the computer when to fire off the attack traces and all that. This also communicates to the player when those will happen. So the purpose of game development is to create a cohesive and congruent meshing of those two. So you want to make sure the logical side is lining up with the visual side. Now, if you had a character run up to an enemy and then did a jump animation, but then the enemy act like it got struck and took damage, that would break the cohesive, feedback of the player. So they would get confused and it would be a bad experience. Because you don't want that to happen. You want to be like, if I'm attacking, I want to see my character attack. If I'm jumping, I want to see my character jumping, etc., etc. So anything you're trying to do, I want my character to jump. How do I do that? I apply math to an upward velocity around that capsule in order to get it to move. And I make my stick figure... Oh, his arm's broken. I make him do a jumping animation. I don't do 2D, this is why. But all of this to communicate one thing to both. So it really is basically that simple. Everything. Whether you're locking a door, if you have a door that looks like a window, there's a door, close enough, then you tell the player it's locked. What this will have would be like a boolean. So is locked as a bool, communicates to the computer side. Can't go through, it's locked. Then you find, let's say, a key. Yeah, makes sense. So you find that key, that tells the player I can now unlock that door. This key never interacts with the actual door. What this does is just signals to this bool, we're good to go. So now the door will open. I thought it'd be cool to have the pen and do kind of screen stuff, but it basically boils down to that. And I'm kind of harping over the same thing, but it really, everything in game development breaks down to the same thing, data management. So, hope you don't mind this little circular speak of running around the same thing over and over again, but and like I said, it's not anything that's like groundbreaking, changes everything. But it is one of those things that's like, oh, this, oh. So I hope it helps, and I hope it kind of, we're going to do some more conceptual things about game development, how to go about it. But yeah, if you like that, like, subscribe, y'all know. I don't gotta tell you. Bye.